Welcome, Shadow Seekers, to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today, we're unearthing a tale that'll haunt your thoughts long after it ends. Whether you're glued to the screen or just listening in, you're in for a wild ride through history's darkest corners. If you're new, hit subscribe to join our mission of exposing America's hidden truths. Regulars, your likes fuel our journey into the unknown. Now, let's peel back the layers of time and reveal the secrets beneath. Ready? Let's begin. Death in a bottle, the chilling Tylenol, murders that change consumer safety forever. Hello, friends, and welcome to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today, we're traveling back to September 29th, 1982, a day that would forever change the way Americans view the safety of everyday products. This is the chilling story of the Tylenol murders, a series of poisonings that turned a trusted household name into an instrument of death and sparked one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history. What transforms a common painkiller into a weapon of terror? How does a local tragedy become a national crisis? And why, 4 decades later, does this case continue to haunt investigators and the public alike? Before we dive into this harrowing tale, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you who support our work. Your engagement allows us to shed light on these pivotal moments that have shaped our nation in ways both seen and unseen. We invite you to share your thoughts. Do you remember this event? How do you think it has shaped the way we trust and use consumer products today? Your insights add invaluable depth to these discussions. Now, let's set the scene. It's a crisp autumn morning in the Chicago suburbs. People are going about their daily routines, dealing with the usual headaches and body aches that come with life. Many reach for that familiar red and white bottle of extra-strength Tylenol, a household name trusted by millions. But on this day, for some unsuspecting victims, that simple act would prove fatal. A sudden and mysterious tragedy. Our story begins in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, where 12-year-old Mary Kellerman wakes up feeling under the weather. Complaining of a sore throat and runny nose, she takes an extra-strength Tylenol capsule. Within hours, Mary collapses and is pronounced dead at the hospital. Doctors are baffled. There's no immediate explanation for how a healthy young girl could die so suddenly. That same morning, in nearby Arlington Heights, 27-year-old Adam Janus, a postal worker, is also suffering from minor cold symptoms. After returning home from work, he takes 2 Tylenol capsules. Within minutes, Adam collapses and is rushed to the hospital, where he dies of what appears to be a massive heart attack. But the tragedy doesn't end there. In a cruel twist of fate, as the Janus family gathers to mourn Adam's sudden death, his brother Stanley and sister-in-law Teresa both take Tylenol from the same bottle to help with their stress headaches. Within hours, they too collapse and die under equally mysterious circumstances. 3 people, all from the same family, are now dead, linked by one common factor: Tylenol. The chain of death continues. Over the next few days, more victims fall to this invisible killer. Mary McFarland, a 31-year-old mother of 2 from Elmhurst, collapses at her workplace after taking Tylenol. Paula Prince, a 35-year-old flight attendant, is found dead in her Chicago apartment, a bottle of Tylenol on her bathroom counter. Mary Reiner, a 27-year-old mother from Winfield who had just given birth, takes Tylenol and dies shortly after. By October 1st, 7 people are dead, and fear is spreading across the Chicago metropolitan area like wildfire. The investigation begins. With the Chicago area in panic, police and medical experts work around the clock to determine what's killing people so suddenly and without warning. It's Dr. Thomas Kim, a medical examiner, who notices the alarming pattern and alerts the authorities. The breakthrough comes when toxicology reports reveal a chilling truth. The Tylenol capsules that the victims had taken were laced with potassium cyanide, a deadly poison that kills within minutes by preventing the body's cells from using oxygen. The amount of cyanide found in each capsule is staggering, many times more than what is needed to kill a person. As the news spreads, fear grips not just Chicago, but the entire nation. Tylenol, a staple in nearly every American household, has become a symbol of death. People begin dumping their bottles of Tylenol, unsure of whether the pills they rely on for headaches, fevers, and aches might be fatal. The response, swift and unprecedented. The response to the crisis is immediate and far-reaching. Chicago Mayor Jane Byrne orders police to drive through the streets with bullhorns, warning residents not to take Tylenol. Stores urgently pull Tylenol products from their shelves. Johnson & Johnson, the maker of Tylenol, faces a nightmare scenario. Their top-selling product, accounting for 17% of the company's net income, is now potentially in every medicine cabinet in America, transformed from a trusted painkiller into a potential killer. In a move that would later be hailed as a masterclass in corporate responsibility, Johnson & Johnson takes swift and decisive action. They issue an immediate recall of 31 million bottles of Tylenol capsules nationwide, a massive effort that costs the company over $100 million. At the time, it's one of the largest product recalls in U.S. history, the hunt for a killer. As the recall unfolds, a task force of over 100 investigators from the FBI, FDA, and Chicago Police Department launches one of the largest manhunts in American history. They pursue numerous leads, including disgruntled Johnson & Johnson employees and possible copycat poisonings. A disturbing picture emerges. The killer, dubbed the Tylenol terrorist by the media, had somehow managed to purchase Tylenol bottles, lace the capsules with cyanide, and return them to store shelves. The randomness of the attacks and the mundane nature of the murder weapon create a sense of vulnerability that grips the nation. Suddenly, no product seems safe. A breakthrough seems to come when James William Lewis sends a letter to Johnson & Johnson, demanding $1 million to stop the killing. Lewis is arrested and convicted of extortion, but investigators can never definitively link him to the actual murders. Despite intense efforts and hundreds of leads, the case remains unsolved. The lasting impact: a new era of consumer safety. While the person or people responsible for the Tylenol murders are never caught, the impact of the case reverberates far beyond the Chicago area. The Tylenol murders fundamentally change the way Americans interact with products and how companies ensure the safety of their consumers. Johnson & Johnson, in a move to rebuild consumer trust, reintroduces Tylenol with new, tamper-evident packaging. This includes glued box flaps, plastic seals over the bottle mouths, and foil seals over the bottles, setting a new industry standard for safety. The FDA follows suit, establishing federal guidelines requiring tamper-resistant packaging for all over-the-counter medications. This change significantly reduces the risk of product tampering and gives consumers a sense of security when buying medication. Congress passes the Federal Anti-Tampering Act in 1983, making it a federal crime to tamper with consumer products, punishable by up to life in prison. The legacy of fear and change. The Tylenol murders leave an indelible mark on American society. For the families of the 7 victims, no corporate response or new safety measure can fill the void left by their loved ones. The randomness of the crimes, the fact that anyone could have been a victim, continues to haunt the public consciousness. Johnson & Johnson's handling of the crisis becomes a case study in corporate responsibility and crisis management. Their swift action and transparency in the face of disaster help to rebuild consumer trust, and Tylenol eventually regains its market position. But the lingering question remains: who did it? The unsolved nature of the crime adds to its mystique and terror. Theories abound, but no one has ever been charged with the murders. As we reflect on this dark chapter in American history, we're confronted with unsettling questions about safety, trust, and the vulnerability of our modern society. How do we balance convenience with security? Can we ever truly be safe from those determined to do harm? And what does it say about our world that even the most innocuous items can become weapons? This is American Shadows, where we peer into the darker corners of our nation's past and present. Until next time, remember that history isn't just a collection of dates and names. It's a living force that shapes our world in ways both seen and unseen. The echoes of the Tylenol murders continue to resonate today, reminding us of the ongoing struggle between trust and vigilance in our society. Stay curious, stay engaged, and keep watching American Shadows. For in understanding our past, we gain insights that can help us navigate the complex landscape of our present and future. How do you think we would react to a similar crisis today? Share your perspectives in the comments below. Your insights add invaluable depth to these discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most chilling and consequential crimes in American history. Until next time, remember to look closely at the everyday items around you, for sometimes the most profound changes come from the most unexpected places.